Hey, Puppy Trades, wanted to do a video analysis update of the S&P 500, Facebook, Salesforce, and Nvidia. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is look at this chart of SPY, and I'm just going to draw a pitchfork by connecting this low with this high and this low, and we're going to see that we have really clear reactions that are very nice when we zoom in on the median. These are really, really clear reactions. The reason that I stress so much about reactions on the median, we can see the low of this daily candle and the low of this daily candle acted as clear resistance. This median was acting as a magnet, and then we saw even more validation of this pitchfork when the S&P 500, got away from it, went back, got away from it, went back. The point is, this pitchfork has a lot of validation, and it looks like we are going to be heading to the median of this pitchfork, okay? So this pitchfork right now says that, we have a lot of unfinished business to the upside until the median is reached, and we've seen that the median of this pitchfork will act as a magnet, okay? And we've seen that as soon as price gets away from this pitchfork, it's got to come right back. Another interesting pitchfork that, I think is pretty indicative is this one, right? So you can connect any major low with a major high and a major low as long as it's subjective. Okay, as long as it's objective. My apologies. You don't want it to be subjective. You want to clearly be connecting a major low with a major high and a major low. So a lot of times charts will have multiple valid pitchforks. Okay, so as I just shown, this was a perfectly fine pitchfork that we're going to be using to say the median will act as a magnet, just as the median of this was acting as such a very clear magnet. But also that this pitchfork right now is giving us a little information, that is pretty interesting. Because when you look at this, you have to ask, is this just going to be a bull flag, or is there, something more going on, right? You don't want to call everything a bull flag, but this is right now a textbook bull flag. Okay, this is, flagpole 1. My apologies. Flagpole 1, and then you have your pennant, obviously, and then we have a little trend line like this. That's a very clear bull flag, leg 1, sideways consolidation into a tight pennant, and then the key right now is this declining volume, and it looks like today we potentially had our volume selling climax to provide our timing signal for this bull flag breakout. And that's really interesting because to find the bull flag target, what you do is you take the length of this move and you place it at the low of the bull flag. So let's talk about validation, real quick. The invalidation level for price for this bull flag is 350. Okay, obviously 350, most likely can't be a stop loss. Really, we don't want to get too far below this low right here of 254. But 254, 250, if price breaks below, that level and, closes below, that's going to invalidate the bull flag. I don't think it will invalidate, any bullish projection. To be completely honest, from a wave theory perspective, this is wave 1, and we would have to get below, this low right here to invalidate it from a wave theory perspective. I don't think this pitchfork will be invalidated. I think even if we invalidated the bull flag, we would just still go right back to the pitchfork. And obviously we have this pitchfork right here that suggests we're going to be heading to the median. So, I expect right now that this is a bull flag, but even if it isn't, it looks like we have a selling climax right here. It wouldn't be, too much lower. We just head back to the lower bound and we'd head back to the median in the future. Okay, but anyway, the bull flag invalidation is 350, 354, a stop loss, for my personal trades, for being long SPY. Obviously this is not investment advice, but a stop loss for a trade like this would be the daily candle low of 354. We have a really nice wick right here. So a wick will always be on a daily candle, a sign that whatever, the dumb money did in the morning, the big money that, or the institutional money that trades the close, was able to completely wash away. So this is a nice sign of institutional strength. This is a nice sign of a bottoming pattern. This doji candle right here with this long wick. So the low of this wick, 359, would be the stop, and then the invalidation for the bull flag would be 350, 354. So bottom line, if we don't ever go below 350, 354, the expectation is that the bull flag equal legs target will play out. So the bull flag equal legs target is 391. I think an ideal price target or an ideal time target for this trade, technically you would take the length of this move and place it here. I'm not going to say that, you know, it's, it's obviously not impossible that we hit 391 by the end of the year, but I think it's really realistic and conservative to say that by mid-January, if we break out of this bull flag, SPY is going to hit 391, and that's just the bull flag equal legs target. We would be expecting SPY to go to the median of this pitchfork, more importantly. And remember, also, we have this pitchfork too that I'll be looking at. So the median of either of these pitchforks will be our signal to exit. I personally expect both of them to be reached. This one might be reached later in the future. But, bottom line, the median of this pitchfork is expected to be reached. The median of this pitchfork is expected to be reached. And they're both well above right now, 380. SPY got there soon. So bottom line, if we're above 350, 354, price target for this bull flag is the end of the year. We're going to hit 391 conservatively by mid-January. We're going to hit 391. Okay, and that's just from taking the length of this move, placed at the low of the bull flag with declining volume confirming consolidation. We have a little selling climax and a nice doji, hammer candle, whatever you want to call it. This wick that's showing that institutional money bought up this low. And so I don't know why that happened, but for a stop loss for this, personally, I would use, I am using the low of 350, 359, 350, 354 would be the invalidation level for the bull flag. Okay, and we're expecting the median of this pitchfork to be reached. We're expecting SPY to reach 391 by mid-January, possibly by the end of the year. Now we're going to look at Facebook real quick. Facebook's a really interesting trade because Apple took off today. So whenever the stock market sells off, you want to ask yourself, where's the money rotating into, right? So today the stock market was selling off and it was extremely clear, money was rotating into AMD and Apple, right? Those stocks were, up well above the rest of the market all day, closed impressively, and so, we had Apple bulls complaining, a week ago, like, hey, like, QQQ's green, but Apple's red, like, I'm mad. Today we had the opposite. So we are finally seeing that money rotate into Apple, and that's extremely important because Apple is the largest holding of SPY and QQQ, right? Another, very important stock that we think is going to, this is the sister trade right now, right? So if Apple is finally breaking out, that's when we look at Facebook, right? If AMD is breaking out, that's why we're looking at Nvidia. So we are seeing evidence that, today's sell-off was the money rotating from, different sectors into stocks like Apple, stocks like, AMD. And so we're going to expect when the market goes higher that Apple and AMD are going to keep leading. And then thus, Facebook and Nvidia are going to follow, right? But remember, Tesla, this is more important than anything I just said. Tesla's already above this high. Google's already above this high. SPY is already above this high, right? AMD now is already above this exact same high, right? So if you're looking at Facebook and Nvidia and they're still below this high, I mean, you kind of have a cheat sheet, right? Because Tesla, Google, SPY, all these stocks that, move completely with these stocks all the time still haven't broken above this high, right? So what are the odds that Amazon's not going to break above this high? Very slim. And if we look at this setup right now, just without any of that information, this is an extremely bullish setup, right? We have clear evidence that this is a little base right here. Institutional money is accumulating. Declining volume is confirming, really nice bullish consolidation right here. And then we're breaking out of this bull flag pattern, and the equal legs targets, are going to take Facebook to 321, possibly by the end of the year, conservatively, by mid-January, I believe. And then I believe by the end of January, mid-February at the latest, but most likely the end of January, Facebook is going to reach this bull flag equal X target of 343. A really cool thing is if we form a pitchfork, this is the exact same pitchfork that we formed with Google, right? Same low, same high, same low. And Google hit the median of this pitchfork. So we have a lot of evidence that Facebook is going to reach the median of this pitchfork as well. The equal X target is 321. And, by the end of the year, as possible, I believe, by mid-January, 321 will be breached. And then the further target of 343, I expect to be reached by the end of January, possibly by mid-February at the latest. Okay, declining volume confirms bullish consolidation. Very textbook, selling climax. I could draw, another declining trend line. It looks like we had, the final thrust of selling that we need, and we're ready for Facebook to go to the lower bound of this pitchfork, like Apple is doing, and then reach the median of this pitchfork, like Tesla has already done. So let's look at Salesforce real quick. Salesforce, I'll just do real quick, only because, I just posted about this. Very clean, very pretty setup. Obviously, the exact same situation. Same high with the rest of the stock market in September. Tesla and, Google and SPY have already broken above it, right? So we connect this low with this high and this low, an extremely pretty pitchfork, right? Look at this, very nice reaction, very nice reactions on the median of this pitchfork. So this pitchfork is proven to act as a magnet. And then if we look over here, where did we go test when we had the sell-off? The lower bound. Okay, so this is a really clear pitchfork. That's probably, the most important part of this chart is that this is a really clear pitchfork. We're heading back to the median of it. We go from an Elliott wave perspective, A, B, C ends with a, really textbook, doji candle, dumb money pushes it down, in the open, smart money buys it up to the close. Very indicative of a bottoming. And this right now is another really important thing about Salesforce is this declining volume. In these two, you normally only get one, but now we got two really nice, large selling climax bars letting us know, yeah, this is definitely the bottom. So, obviously nothing's 100% in trading, but there's a lot of evidence that the low is in right here for Salesforce. So if 236 is the low, the actual invalidation would be 228, but if 236 holds as the low, then it is expected Salesforce will go reach the equal X target of this bull flag of, 331. This bull flag we can see was from 717 to 903. That's 6 weeks from now. So 6 weeks from now, mid-January, we expect Salesforce to go reach the median of this pitchfork. We expect it to reach 331. I'll get the Nvidia. The only reason we're talking about Nvidia, obviously moves with the stock market. Tesla's already above this high, blah, blah, blah. AMD's breaking out today. That's why we're talking about Nvidia, right? Birds of a feather flock together. When Apple and AMD are getting clear rotation, you do a chart of Facebook and Nvidia. It's that simple. We connect this low with this high and this low. Very, very clear pitchfork that we have on Nvidia. So we're gonna, zoom in. Look at these really nice reactions, right? I love when the low of the day is held by the pitchfork. Really nice reactions. The lower bounds acting as a magnet. We're ready to go to the median of this pitchfork. We have a very clear bull flag pattern, right? So I like to have multiple, forms of evidence. I don't just want a bull flag. I don't just want a wave count. I want a pitchfork. I want a bull flag. I want, declining volume. And to be completely honest, I'll even research the institutional, ownership for these stocks too. And I have, for all these stocks that I've covered, I'll check the institutional ownership, make sure we're flowing in, instead of flowing out. So that's why when I say, this is accumulation, I've done the research. This is definitely accumulation. The declining volume bars prove it. And if we look at Nvidia right now, real quick, we're going to be heading to the median of this pitchfork. Declining volume confirms bullish consolidation. Really nice selling climax. So if this low of 505 hold is the low, we expect the median of this pitchfork to be reached and this bull flag target of 688 to be reached, possibly by the end of the year, conservatively by mid-January. And then a stop loss that I will be using is 518. So if Nvidia is above 518, It is expected to reach 688 by the end of the year, most likely mid